SPARC is a provincial network, and we would like to acknowledge the traditional Indigenous land on which we are so fortunate to create and partake in the arts. Our organization is situated in the province of Ontario, which is covered by 46 treaties and other agreements, such as land purchases by the Crown, signed between 1781 and 1930, as well as many unceded and disputed territories. What we now call Ontario is home to many Indigenous nations, First Nations people, the Métis and Inuit people, who have been the traditional caretakers of this land and water for many generations, and who continue to live, work, and thrive here today. Hello, and welcome to SPARC Peer-to-Peer Chats. I'm Rachel Marks, the Rezo SPARC Network Executive Director. I'm a middle-aged white woman with extremely short hair. I'm wearing dark purple cat's eye glasses with a black cardigan, and I have very long black beaded earrings on. My pronouns are she and her. Today, I am super duper excited to chat with Gordon Duff, SPARC board member, and Peggy Raftis, longtime SPARC member, who are with us today in their capacity as Local Host Symposium Coordinators for the 2024 SPARC Symposium. Welcome, Peggy and Gordon.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi, it is so great to have you here. But before we get started on Symposium, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and your connection to the arts? Peggy, would you like to go first?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm also a middle-aged white woman, but my glasses aren't nearly as cute as Rachel's. I'm a lifelong resident of Minto and have always been very active in the arts. I'm the president of the Grey Wellington Theatre Guild and have been involved since 1985. It's our 50th anniversary this year, and we're very excited to be celebrating that milestone for community theatre. I'm also the chair with the Town of Minto's Culture Roundtable, which supports arts and culture in Minto, as well as a member of the newly formed Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee, and of course, SPARC. I have a very supportive husband who supports me in all of my crazy endeavors, and 4 wonderful adult children that pretty much grew up in the theater, so it's always been a part of our life. SPARC is an organization that's provided support, connections, and ideas that support my passion. I have many interests and committees with Gordon, who is a tireless volunteer, but I'll let him share his own story. So, Gord.
Great. Thanks, Peggy. Yes, I'm originally from the city of Waterloo and now being an urban refugee or whatever up here in rural Ontario for several decades now. Anyway, I'm a founding member of the Minto Arts Council. We haven't been around quite as long as the Theatre Guild, but since 1997. My day job is municipal treasurer, and the town of Minto began, I guess, our involvement with the arts in the early 2000s when we attended several municipal cultural planning forums, which led to the establishment of our municipal cultural plan. At that time, we were one of the very few rural municipalities to have one, and I'm pleased to see a lot of our neighbors have done that, and they now have their own cultural roundtable, and we're having more and more joint and regional sessions with that. I've gone to the SPARC Symposium since the first one in Haliburton in 2014. Really tried to keep our connection and volunteered with various task forces before joining the board. Again, it's a unique organization filling a gap, especially with so many organizations being more urban oriented. And yes, indeed, there is culture, however you define it, outside of the urban areas. So I'm very happy to showcase the town of Minto and look forward to welcoming everyone.
Thank you both so much. We're very lucky to have you with us, and we're very lucky to have you hosting Symposium 2024. So let's get down to it. Symposium, reigniting the spark. Let's hear what it's all about. Got some questions for you, and let's just chat a little. But first off, dates, locations, venues. Can you tell us more?
Sure.
We are,
Go ahead, Peggy. Yeah.
I was just going to say, we have our opening ceremonies on the Thursday evening of May the 23rd, where everybody can come and meet everybody and participate in some activities there. And we run right through until Sunday after brunch. We have a film circuit, short film contest that everybody's welcome to attend as well. So yeah, it's a fun-packed few days for sure.
Sure. So our primary venue is the Palmerston Community Center. We will be using some other nearby venues and other locations within the town of Minto. Again, we're not a huge municipality, so I think the furthest drive is likely 10 minutes from the main venue. And we'll have a variety of workshops and excursions there too. And we'll talk about that later in the excursion part.
Great, thank you. I know there's a lot of great workshops, and Gordon, you started to talk about it. We've got 10 workshops this year. Can each of you maybe tell us a little more, offer us some insight?
One of the biggest things is and Rachel, you'll have to correct me on the designation that people can get, but we're really promoting the equity, diversity, and inclusion portion of the event. So we are actually having a presentation called Changing the Landscape, Activating Your Organization's Investment in Equity, Diversity, and Access. So that is something that is very prevalent right now, and a lot of us just don't know where to start, and I think this will be a good foundation.
No, that's great. Thanks, Peggy. That particular workshop's being offered by the EDI department of the Stratford Festival. So that's an excellent workshop to attend. We have 2 other workshops in that series. And thanks for the designation question, Peggy. If you attend one of the DEIA workshops, you will get a certificate of attendance for that. So there's 3 in total, and they're all denoted on the website with an asterisk beside them. So there's an accessibility workshop by Aaron Ball and Maxime Beauregard, and there is also Beyond Black Squares by Black Pledge Canada. And now I'll pass it back over to you. Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, I think we've got a lot of really exciting, intriguing workshops for everyone, whether it's theater, music, funding, everything there. Some of the highlights maybe for those attendees from Prince Edward County, if you remember our sensational finale with a song by Frederick, accompanied by Lisa on the ukulele. Lisa from Kempville is going to present a workshop on how she created a street-based musical festival. I think another highlight is we have Haleh Gaderi, who I know if you're like myself, I heard her on CBC Radio. She's the poet laureate from Scugog, which is just northeast of Toronto. And we have partners like Culture Days. We have Caitlin Patience and Kiera Park from Culture Days. We have Joanne Churchill from Ontario Presents. And we have Stephanie Draker from Work and Culture. And I know a lot of the people I've met or whatever, I now follow them on whether LinkedIn or other social media. And I'm always interested to see what they've done. And sometimes they write a book and I buy the book. So I'm sure you can have that experience too.
Yeah, that's great. And the thing that I think the selection committee did this year was do a really great mix of creative workshops like Real Space Theater's Creative Spark and the poetry workshop, and then how to get through the pandemic, still very prevalent, and bringing back audiences. Thinking Rock Community Arts are going to talk about that. We've just got a lot of really great workshops happening, and thanks to the committee and thanks to everybody who submitted. I'm going to just take a moment to talk a little bit about the funders panel. So every year Spark has a funders panel. We have funders come in, and then we also always have one non-funder on the panel. So the non-funder this year is our good friend Kate Proctor. Kate did a peer-to-peer chat for us. I'm looking around for her book because it's never far off my desk. But Kate will be there, and she will be the non-funder that can maybe translate some of the funding language, or maybe ask even some questions of the funders and answer some of those funding questions for us and how to tap into that. Kate will also have her books for sale available. We talked about writing books. So we also have our good friend David Barnard from the Canadian Arts Presentation Fund, which, by the way to go in the budget yesterday, CapF. Nice bit of funding announcement there. So David will hopefully be there for our funders panel. We also have representatives from the Ontario Arts Council and the Canada Council for the Arts. And we have RTO4. Let's talk about cultural tourism. Are there ways that the arts can qualify as cultural tourism and get some of that funding? We're hoping to have friends from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund, and we're having the closest arts council to the town of Minto that is a funder. The Guelph Arts Council will be represented as well. So that's really great. But the thing that is worth the price of admission alone is that the Ontario Arts Council and the Canada Council for the Arts are setting up one-to-one consults. So if you're attending symposium, you can that day on site, old-fashioned, old school, we're going to have a sign-up sheet. You can sign up beside a time period, and you can have 10 to 15 minutes alone with a granting officer from the OAC. You can sign up for both. You can sign up for the OAC and Canada Council, and you can get that time and you can talk about yourself, your project, your funding, your presentation, your series. I don't know, Peggy, what do you think? I think that's fabulous.
Oh yeah, it's amazing because the granting process is so difficult to maneuver, and if you can get some one-on-one advice about this to get a successful grant, yeah, it definitely is worth the price of the admission of the conference as a whole.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I am just going to apologize for my barking dog in the back if everyone can hear that.
Even the dogs are excited. Oh.
She's excited. She's so excited. Okay. Excursions. So every symposium on the Saturday afternoon, there are some local excursions organized. Why don't you tell us what's on the ticket for this year?
Sure. Well, we have one that highlights a neighboring community to Palmerston is Harrison, where Peggy and I are coming to you from. So we're calling it Theaters and Galleries. You can do it, any order, but we have the Minto Arts Gallery in the top floor of a very historic 1908 Carnegie Library. We have Peggy's own Town Hall Theater, where the Grey Wellington Theatre Guild will be, I think, already set up for their plays and that, and preparing for their major 50th anniversary show in the fall. And we have the Crown Harrison, which is a privately owned theater, but again, presents comedy acts and films and music. And that sounds like a lot, but it's all within 2 blocks. So
and the Crown Theater is attached to the Magic Ice Cream Shop, so you can get
an ice cream
treat there while you're there.
And I heard there might be some on-stage improv games with the Grey Wellington Theatre Guild.
Yeah, we thought instead of just touring the building and seeing what all the work that we've put into it, we thought everybody could get introduced to some different icebreaker and theater improv games and stuff, and just have some laughs doing that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, so that's just one excursion.
That's one.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. What else?
And so we also have the playwriters contest, which is new this year. We asked for submissions for 10-minute plays, and it was really tough to come up with the 3 finalists and the 2 runner-ups. But we will be touring to the rural location owned by David and Jean Anderson, which is Violets in the Barn. They've got an apple orchard there. It's an amazing property. Jean grows and sells hundreds of different kinds of African violets, and we're going to have the play reading contest read there. And I believe we're asking people to participate in that as well if they're interested in taking a role in that. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. The authors will get to hear their plays read out loud. And so that'll be a lot of fun too. And it's also scheduled that you can do it as well as a different excursion, correct? Yeah.
Three if you like to. And if you want to stay close to the Palmerston Community Center, our Michelle Paymar, who probably many of you have met either through Spark events or other ones. He's a Franco-Ontarian singer-songwriter and educator from Penetanguishene area, and he'll be leading a songwriting workshop for those of you that are more musically inclined. So lots of things to look at and explore the immediate surroundings. And as I say, probably 10 minutes the furthest away. If you don't have a car, I'm sure we can carpool.
And the thing about this songwriters workshop is that when you get to participate in creating the song, and it will be performed at the banquet on Saturday evening. So that'll be a lot of fun too. So we're really hoping we've got musically inclined people, which I'm sure we will. So that'll be a great workshop as well.
Oh, that's great. So I'm going to jump ahead to a question that I had because you talked about participation. So are there more chances to participate and perform at Symposium this year?
Yeah.
Every day.
The opening
starting with the drum circle, right?
Yeah, starting at the opening ceremonies, we're going to have a traditional drum circle. So bring your drum and join into the event because that'll be a lot of fun. Jason will be hosting an open mic at lunch on Friday, which we did at the last symposium. It was very popular. And we have the songwriting workshop with Michelle, and yeah, and then the improv games at the theater. So did I miss anything?
The play reading. We forgot about that. You can participate by being a reader.
Yeah.
And then, last year we had a few pop-up impromptu performances throughout the day. So we're all arts-based. Who knows what's going to happen?
And each day is open with the
morning movement,
and that's a lot of fun, and it just gets you in the mood for your creative juices thinking, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so we're talking about moving. We're talking about getting creative juices flowing. I do hear rumors of dance parties. What? Tell me more. Dance parties.
I'm very excited about this one. On Friday evening, we're going to be rocking to the music of one of our local bands, the Moore Band, which is a family group. And they're amazing. They offer everything from old time rock and roll, pop, country. Their daughter Bria, who's just turned 16, can sing the Whitney Houston song like you would not believe how well she does it. They're truly amazing. So that's on Friday night. So everybody will get to enjoy them and dance the night away.
And Saturday night we have a local DJ, Cody Miller, and again he plays all types of music. He's very in tune with what the crowd likes, and I'm sure there'll be something, and it'll be a fun time as well, in the same location, and we may have some showcase acts too. So
yeah, and Cody's a very supportive community member and very popular in Minto, and he puts on a really good show. So that'll be a lot of fun on the Saturday night.
I'm really excited because we did really notice in 2022, we've spread Symposium out. There's breathing room between the sessions. There's time to network. And then there's these evenings where we've always had an opportunity to see local artists and to experience local artists. But here we are together, just really being able to let loose. Like we've had this day of like energizing and rejuvenating thinking, and now we can just let that out through our bodies if we choose, or we can sit and watch, or we can stand and watch, or whatever. But it was so exciting last symposium to really be able to connect on the dance floor with folks that I've been emailing for years, which was
and it's really a good chance to cement those relationships that you've just made, like everybody's relaxed and having fun, and you just get to know people a lot better.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, I want to mention something that I forgot to ask about, and so I'm going to bring it up. Is we've got a buddy program going this year.
Right.
So, one of the feedback we got, or one of the pieces of feedback we got last year, was that it was somebody's first time at symposium, so it was a little overwhelming for them. And walking in that first time, we've all been there. We all know what that's like. So if it's your first time and you want to check off for a buddy, or if it's it's your fifth time. This is our fifth symposium, and it's your fifth time, and you want to be a buddy to help someone navigate and just sort of get to know other folks or be a cultural connector for them. Tick that off on your registration, and we'll be meeting sort of 15 minutes before the opening on Thursday. We'll get together, we'll introduce you to your match, and then that way, at the very first event, you're going in with a buddy, and you're also then, if you are the buddy that's been there before, you're helping a new sparkler, as we're now saying, a new sparkler. Okay, so I got a couple more questions, but they're a little more personal. We've got a lot of great stuff happening. Oh, and I guess I should mention also, if it's your first time, you need to know that lunch and dinner are fully included in your price of registration. So in the morning, we'll have like coffee and tea and some fruit, that sort of stuff. So if you're a hearty breakfast eater, there is a Tim Hortons in town, and there's a couple other places. But if you're a light snacker with, fruit and maybe a cookie, we've probably got you covered. You'll have a nice hearty lunch. We've got some great local caterers. We're working with four caterers this year. So we've got a great barbecue for lunch on Friday and a different style of barbecue for dinner in the evening. Saturday at lunch, we've got bagged lunches, so you can take them on to your excursion with you. And they're coming from a local Mennonite community. That's a soup and sandwich lunch. And Saturday night, it's our more sort of formally, as formal as rural art folks want to get. So let's say our more funky dinner. And that is provided by another local caterer. And we will have vegan options and gluten-free options. So don't worry, that's all on your registration form.
And brunch on Sunday.
Oh yeah, a hearty brunch on Sunday, so we can say goodbye in really great form. And that's before one of our latest additions. And Gordon, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Sure,
Can you tell us a little about the short film festival?
Yeah, this is a short film fest. I have as one of my fellow judges a former Spark board member, Tammy Ray, who runs the Halliburton Highlands film circuit and that too. So we've got, we're really broad. It's got to have a little bit of rural content. And the submissions that we've got are certainly, and they'll be, again, if you know any budding filmmakers, we've got a nice platform so we can review them really fast. So I think we'll extend that till probably the 26th. I think you originally said last Friday, but April 26th. And as I say, it won't take us long to review them. And it is at the Norgan Theater, which is one of the very few municipally owned movie theaters, right on the main street of Palmerston, 2-minute drive from the community center, where actually I host the film circuit, and we've been running that since 2004. And it also is virtually all volunteer run except for a part-time manager, and we do popular and kids films on the weekends and that too. So, and it's nice, it's an old style theater, so it's not a chopped up Cineplex one or anything like that. And the volume is livable. You won't be rocked out of your seat. And comments we get, oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
And so there's still time to submit, and it doesn't have to be an original film. It can be a previously released short film. If anybody wants information on that or anything, we have 2 email addresses. You can email me, Rachel@sparkperformingarts.com, or you can email Peggy at symposium@sparkperformingarts.
Yeah. And it's all on our website too.
Yeah, everything's on our website. Ooh. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get a little personal here. So I mean, often, and we hear this so much, and I think we feel it individually, the three of us as well. Working and volunteering in the arts in rural and remote areas, we feel like we're in silos, like we're separated, and we sometimes feel like, am I alone in this world? So, with that in mind, what was it like for you the first time you attended a symposium?
Well, this is only my second symposium, although I've been involved in years hosting many symposiums in the Minto area. To be honest with you, I was pretty nervous walking in there. I thought, there was a lot of people that I didn't know, the handful that I did, but I shouldn't have been. Everyone was so welcoming and so supportive of each other, and it was a great opportunity to talk about things that we were all experiencing. Um, One thing that has really stuck out with me is that I like that although I'm representing an amateur organization, I was not made to feel any less than anyone else. Um, there's so much great information, and it was so easy to take back to my own groups and implement some of the ideas that were generated. So it was, yeah, the whole experience was just, uh, there wasn't anything negative about it. It was a positive, welcoming, friendly thing, and it was just tremendous. So yeah, I would recommend this to anyone that has an interest in the arts, whether they're an actor or a performer, but a supporter, just anyone, a presenter, anybody who has an interest in arts and cultures in the rural communities. I would highly recommend it.
Thanks, Peggy. Before we get
Great.
to Gordon, I do want to highlight one thing. Peggy, you brought up a really good point. Sometimes I have people say to me, oh, well, Spark is only comprised of people who do their art as their passion or amateur, non-professional arts. And then I have other people say to me, oh, Spark is only comprised of people who make their living at the arts, and I'm a community arts person. I don't fit in. But that's not true. We're for anybody in the arts, in rural and remote areas. Any creator, any presenter, any lover and supporter of the arts, whether that is community based arts, what we might call amateur arts, or professional arts, we do not make a distinction. We are united by our rurality. I can never say that word. And we are united by our passion for the arts and for keeping arts in small communities across the province and the country. So thanks, Peggy, for bringing that up. And now, Gordon, what about you?
Sure. Again, I guess I've been to all the symposiums. So my first one will be the 2014 one in Halliburton. So again, it had a unique venue. It was at the Sir Sanford Fleming School of Art. So that certainly added to it. In this amazing community of Halliburton that basically I've just driven through. And I was amazed to see the eclectic grouping of art groups like folk artists and dance and theater and music and everything, plus a wonderful lineup of speakers and funders and that too. And yeah, as Peggy said, it's very welcoming environment. I just knew the two people that I was with, and then I got to know for the first time the Spark board and their supporters and that. And again, that was their first one. So they were feeling their way too. There were no experts there. And it was a bit of a, okay, that was good. What next? And that was 10 years ago. So yeah, that's very good that they've been able to have some continuity and spread throughout the province. I know the board has made amazing outreach with their community consultations and regional gatherings. So I think it truly is an organization with a provincial reach. So that's good.
Thank you. Okay. If you could highlight one thing about this year's symposium, what would it be? Gordon, let's start with you.
Come and see what Minto can do. There's nothing unique or special. We're agriculture, industrial thing. We don't have Niagara Falls. We don't have a beautiful beach, and yet we're a cultural hub. So kind of like if Minto can do it, you can do it too.
Okay. I think there's a lot of great things about Minto. that
There were-
bridge, that railway
Yeah.
bridge, the span bridge. It
You're
used to be
right.
part of was it the Grand Trunk Railroad?
Yeah, 1912 cast iron. They
Yeah.
don't build them like they used to. No.
No. Oh, and just to let you know, because railway was huge, there will be hand cart opportunities on railroad tracks at our opening reception. Like you can use an old hand cart and see what that was like. Okay, Peggy.
Petticoat Junction, right here.
Yeah, that's my highlight. No, it's not. I mean, I have so many things to highlight. Peggy, what would your highlight be?
This is really a tough call because this symposium is offering so much. I'm really excited about the playwrights presentation and the short form films contest because they're new, and I think it's giving opportunities to actual artists to present. There's so many great workshops to choose from and funders to talk to. I'm really looking forward to it all, but I think the connections and the time, the opportunities to network with people that are experiencing the same things that you and I are, like how to get bums in seats and how to get some grant money and everything. So I think just the connections and the networking the people is what I'm looking forward to.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Peggy and Gordon, for tonight's chat and all of the work you've been doing to get Symposium ready for our sparklers to converge in the town of Minto, May 23rd to 26th. Registration will be in the comment box under this or above it. Either way, you'll see how to register. I really enjoyed our time together, and I can't wait to see you both in person. Again, May 23rd to 26th in the town of Minto. Any closing thoughts, Gordon, Peggy?
Well, come and I can promise we will give you value for money and you'll take away much more than what you spend here.
I just really hope people take advantage and attend the conference. The price is so inexpensive. You get all your meals and all of the content that is being offered. The admission for the whole event is less than what you could spend on any one of the things being offered. We are stronger together, and Spark is a way to make things happen for people that otherwise would not have the opportunity to take advantage on their own. I am really looking forward to this event, and I hope you sign up.
Thank you. If you're watching this recording on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for joining us. Details about Symposium can be found on our website and our social media. And honestly, we cannot wait to see you until May. It's been a long time. We're going to see you in May, and we're just going to have an amazing symposium. Thanks, everybody. Good night, and see you soon.